Yes, people. I hope you can hear me. I hope my audio is good today. Welcome to Fozzy TV. Previously LRFC, but it's Fozzy TV now. This is the new me. This is me now. Like I'm going to be talking about other football clubs as well as my one. Interview people, do panel shows, and try to pick up the channel from where it was before. I've got my man Tops. He's a Arsenal fan. Great content creator. I met him like many other people just been on the channel recently on Judge Mo's channel. Appreciate that guy always. Yeah, Tops, what's going on, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. Big up for the invite. Always a pleasure, man. Obviously making my debut on the channel, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a good conversation with you, bro. So yeah, man, big up again for having me on, and yeah, can't wait to get stuck into it with you, my friend.
100%, bro. Obviously, we discussed what we're going to talk about in the stream. Yeah, Tops. I just want to obviously talk about you.
Yeah.
How did you come about? Obviously on YouTube. Sorry. How did you come about supporting Arsenal first, and then we'll talk about the rest. Like, how long have you been supporting Arsenal? The Arsenal. Sorry, that's what they used to call it. The Arsenal.
Yeah, the Arsenal, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And, how you came about, supporting this football club, this great football club that is.
Yeah. So obviously, when I was younger, I wasn't actually too much into football. Surprisingly, man, it was just one of those things where obviously certain people are like late developers and stuff, late bloomers when it comes to having interest in sport. So I remember it was one of my best friends, man. He was like a massive Arsenal fan at the time, and before I had never like watched a game or anything. Because again, football just wasn't my interest at that moment in time. But the one game, the first game, and it's actually funny enough, it was 2001, the FA Cup final, Arsenal versus Liverpool. That was kind of the first football game.
Oh, damn!
And bro, that after that game, I was hooked because again, that game, I don't know if you remember it, bro. Arsenal absolutely battered Liverpool for the majority of the game. I don't know how Arsenal were not winning by more than one goal. Off the line, handball. Thierry was missing some chances. And in the game, I was just thinking, this is like a one-sided game here with obviously Arsenal. And then obviously Michael Owen does what he does, scores 2 amazing goals, and then Liverpool win the cup. And after that game, I was just thinking, like, this football thing's crazy. How can a team be so dominant and still lose the game and still not be the winners? It's something intriguing to me, like how a game can be decided by one-off moments where you could be in control, but all of a sudden you're just losing the game, and that's it. And that's how football obviously is. So from that, man, I was just kind of hooked, man, to be honest with you. And like I said, obviously my best friend definitely was influencing. Big up Raj every single time. And then after that, man, I was just kind of drawn as well to the plays, because at that moment in time, Arsenal were one of the few players that had a lot of like black plays in their kind of starting lineup. We're talking about Thierry Henry, Ashley Cole Campbell, Will Tord, Carnu, Vieira, Gilberto, Lauren. There's loads, man. So that, again, as obviously a young black person myself, seeing a lot of black players that look like myself, that definitely drawn them obviously to me as well, obviously at a young age too. So yeah, man, I think that, and then again, of course, the football we were playing at the time as well, man, was sensational stuff under Wenger, bro. Prime Arsenal. That's the Arsenal I really want to get back to, if I'm being honest, man, because some of the one-touch football, man, now that obviously we don't really play that anymore, you kind of like appreciate it a bit more.
I think football's changed completely.
100%, bro. It's literally, like you said, we'll talk about it later in terms of like the set pieces and stuff like that. But now you've seen how it changed. You kind of appreciate how good it was back then in terms of the difficultiness of being able to do one-touch football with these top players against all the top players as well, and making it look so easy, so seamless, man. And then, yeah, obviously my favorite player of all time, the big man up there, Thierry Henry. He was just a joy to watch, man. I was so glad I was able to see him in his prime years at Arsenal, man, because, yeah, man, he was just, honestly, he could just score out of anything, whether it's taking on the whole team, whether it's his back to goal and lobbing it from 30 yards. Like, he was just a sensational player, man. My favorite player ever. So, yeah, man, that's how I kind of got into it. And, obviously, during those period of times when obviously Arsenal were winning, I was just kind of like, I could get used to this, man. And then, obviously, we went through that massive run of not winning anything for ages, 9 years, where it was. And, yeah, I had to kind of just sit back and watch Chelsea win loads of titles, Man United, and then obviously Man City came into it. Obviously yourselves as well, winning Premier Leagues and Champions League. So yeah, man, it's kind of been of a bit of a rocky road, tops and turny kind of relationship with me and Arsenal. Because again, I've seen like the good bits at the start, but then it's been such a long time, bro, since I've been able to celebrate kind of the Premier Leagues. Obviously, you've never seen us win the Champions League. Got to that Champions League final, devastated we didn't win that as well. So yeah, man, it's just been kind of a roller coaster, bro, to be honest with you, man. But I'm hoping this season we can finally announce ourselves back at the top table, winning one of those big trophies, man, and try and build up a new legacy going on from there, bro, because it's been too long from an Arsenal's perspective anyway, man, since we've done it.
Yeah, listen, good on you, man. 2001 final, goddamn. That takes me back. Gerard Houllier in charge of Liverpool, and
that's it.
It was one of the worst football I've seen. You know what I mean? It wasn't exciting to watch, but to be honest, he got us back to the winning. You understand? Starting off, we had a base like start off from the lower cups, and then you tried to build your way up, and it didn't work out because I think obviously he got ill. And I think Benitez came after him, and then the rest is history. 2005 final, and then we got all the way to Jurgen, to Arne Slot. But yeah, I remember that game, man. I was, you guys battered us, bro. Absolutely annihilated us, man. Left, crazy. Right, and center. I don't know how you didn't win that game. I remember you said the handball to Stefan Oncho. Next to the post.
Yes, that's it, bro. Yeah, and the referee didn't give anything.
Where's VAR back then, innit?
Yeah, no VAR, bro. We could have benefited from that day. I'm telling you, man. But yeah, we were missing chances, man. That game, man. I don't know how. Obviously, Freddie scored in the end, but bro, we should have been at least 2 or 3-0 before that. So, but yeah, that's just football for you, man. That's just football.
It is. I even remember Arsenal back in the day. Like, I used to love you guys, like watching in the. I don't think people don't understand like this tribalism that we have now. Back in the day, wasn't like that. If there's an English team in the what you call it, UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, Champions League, and etc., we used to support them. I used to anyway. I had no rivalry. I'm young, so I didn't really care about the rivalries or anything like that. But yeah, I remember there was one game I was watching at Arsenal because I think he won the Winners' Cup the season before, and there was I don't obviously you started from 2001, and there was a guy called Naeem. He scored from the halfway line in the last minute of the game over David Seaman, and you lost that game.
Oh,
and the worst part of it is the guy who actually scored the goal the season before was playing for Tottenham.
Oh, bro. That sums it all up, man. That sums it all up, bro.
You know what I mean? Last second of the game, bro. He did it from the halfway line, and the guy who scored it was a Tottenham player. You know what I mean? Oh man, crazy! It was crazy, man. Yeah. But Arsenal, man, Arsenal under George Graham. That's what I grew up on. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, you guys like you've always been obviously. I don't know. Like before Man United got into the Premier League, you was the second. I think you guys was the second team to Liverpool. I'm sure.
Yeah. We had the second most of them trophy because we had 10. Obviously you guys had the 18.
18. Yeah.
Man United I think had 9 or something.
7, bro. 7 before.
No, 7. Was it 7?
I swear, man. People don't even know that. You know the way they talk about Man United, the biggest team. They only had 7. We're the only team that's ever distant so from everybody else. They've never done that. Yeah, you guys were the second team, but yeah, it is what it is. But listen, at the end of the day, like I know you haven't won the Champions League and all that stuff, but it doesn't mean you're a small club. You know when they say to you like the London bit, like Chelsea's bigger because they've got 2 Champions Leagues. But at the end of the day, like at least you done it organically. You didn't do it like with money, like Abramovich and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's what I think people look at when they look at football clubs. They don't really look at when I look at football, when people talk about Chelsea, Man City, to me, it's the money related side. I don't really think about them like when I look at Arsenal, when I look at Man United, when I look at Nottingham Forest, etc., the ones who won organically. That's why I respect teams that haven't spent the money like Man City and Chelsea, because sometimes you got to look at it. Teams buy titles, and that's how it looks. I remember Chelsea. I remember Man City. There wasn't always in the top half of the table. Some of them, Man City especially, like they used to get relegated. They're doing a yo-yo in the lower division as well and all that stuff. And then Chelsea, when I was growing up, they were mid-table team at best. You know what I mean? In the bottom half. I think Ken Bates sold them for £1 or something like that as well. So to Abramovich I think he had a helicopter going around London. Which club shall I buy? Kind of thing. And he bought Chelsea. And the rest is history. So yeah. I always take you guys, obviously the third biggest because you got yourself there organically, not with money. And when people say you're not the biggest, club in London, I strongly disagree. I think you are, man, and you always will.
Yeah, I obviously I'm biased. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I still think we are the third biggest, just in terms of the fan base and obviously the reach. And you got to think like Arsenal have not won. I mean, I know people class like majors and minors now, which again I always still respect the FA Cup and League Cup because I think trophy, in my opinion, that's kind of probably the era I'm from, where you don't really have this kind of major and minor kind of talk. If you want a trophy, it will celebrate regardless of what trophy it is, because you have to beat teams that obviously win trophies. So yeah, man. But people don't obviously realize that we haven't actually won the majors, Champions League or Premier League in 21 years. And look how big still the fan base is. That's a long time to not win one of the league titles. And we still have a load of new fans coming through every single season. We still managed to attract top level players as well throughout the entire years, even when we weren't winning trophies, even when we weren't at the top end of the Champions League or even in the Champions League, we're still able to attract players like Aubameyang and Ozil and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's very, very key and crucial to remember, like, obviously the fan base is massively wide. It's worldwide, man. You go to these kind of tours and you can kind of see like the adulation and the massive kind of reception these kind of players and the team gets going out to the likes in Asia and Thailand and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I still think we are the third biggest. But again, obviously to improve on that and to make sure we have that kind of strong hold on it, we have to start winning some major trophies, man, for sure. Because again, there's only so many times or so long you can go without winning a Prem or even like an FA Cup, League Cup. You want to kind of boost that kind of trophy cabinet along the way too, bro. So yeah, man, I still think we're definitely the third biggest, and I think it definitely shows. And especially if we do win that trophy, I think you're gonna see how big we actually are. If we do manage to get a trophy parade, how many people come out and stuff like that, bro. It's gonna be crazy. I'm telling you, man, like carnival. So yeah, man. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can do it this year, man. But we'll have to wait and see, my bro.
I'm gonna be hiding, mate. I'm telling you, I'm in London, innit? So,
bro, that's crazy.
The worst part of it for me is I work in the West End, innit? So, I'm in charge of a few buildings down there. In my obviously I do security. So yeah, man. I can't show my face. I really can't. Man. Some of the family members support, obviously, some Liverpool's, majority Liverpool, some Man United, and some Arsenal. And I'm never gonna hear the end of it, man. I know Arsenal once they get that. Listen, look how loud you are.
Yeah, exactly. Man, this is what I'm saying. People, bro, this is what I'm saying about the fan base and how big a club are. Look how loud we are. We didn't win anything. Like, so imagine if we get our hands on one of the big ones. Oh, bro, it's gonna get nasty. It's gonna get nasty.
People just close the door. Don't go on holiday. Go on holiday.
That's
man.
it. Holiday, bro. Until next season.
Arteta obviously came from Man City as an assistant.
Yeah.
What do you think of him as a head coach? Because he gets a lot of criticism. You know, I mean, he's been here for a while, won the FA Cup. I think it's his first season, right? He was at Arsenal.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
With a different team that you have now, I don't know if anyone's left from that team. To be fair,
I don't think anyone's left that played the final. The only players that are left in the squad are Martinelli and Saka. That's still at the club. They're the only two players that are left. So. Yeah, it's pretty much got rid of the whole squad from then, which again, in 5-6 years, you probably would expect. But yeah, just my thoughts on Arteta. Like I said, when he first got linked with the job, because I don't think people remember, he was actually supposed to get the job before Unai Emery. And at the time, when he was first linked with the job, I was like, no way. We can't get rid of Arsene Wenger, this experienced guy that obviously, again, people will probably content with that he needs to be moved on because again his probably best days are behind him, to get someone that's completely inexperienced. And then they obviously went with Unai Emery instead. Again, he obviously didn't work out, got to Europa League final. We lost that obviously in Baku against Chelsea. We were like third until like the 2 or 3 games left in the Premier League season, ended up finishing 5th, so we missed out on Champions League both through winning the Europa League and in the league. So, and then he started the next season, and then again, we weren't terrible, but again, we were not winning games convincingly. And then again, he got sacked as well. So we then go back to Arteta. And at the time, I was still thinking, because again, it's only been like a year and a half since we was linked with the job the first time. And I'm still like, he's not experienced enough. And the thing with me, with him is, I never thought that he definitely couldn't be a good manager or anything. I just thought, if he's going to be a manager here, he's going to make all of his first mistakes at Arsenal. And it's like, we need to be in a position where we kind of need someone that knows what they're doing, especially through this like turbulent time of losing Arsene Wenger, someone that was a staple head of the club for 20 plus years. We kind of need someone that kind of knows how to steady a ship, knows how to kind of talk to their players. The guy has the experience to deal with difficult situations, which obviously Arteta didn't because this was his first job. But then obviously he won the FA Cup, and I know people say it wasn't his team and stuff like that. I'm one of these people that I'll never discredit him from winning it, because at the end of the day, we had to play Man City and Chelsea, who were both better teams than us, and we beat them both in semi-finals and finals at Wembley in high-pressure situations. And he obviously changed the formation. He changed it to a back three. He put obviously Aubameyang, Pepe, and Lacazette up front as well. And he managed to get a team good enough to beat them 2 teams on the day. And he won the trophy. Fair enough. He won it. But yeah, and then after that, man, I just feel like, again, my concerns and my kind of worries of why I didn't want him kind of came to fruition. Obviously, some of the treatment of some of the players. You look at people like Aubameyang and Ozil getting shipped out. Then you look at obviously our style of play wasn't exactly great during this period of time. And then the league finishes. We finished 8th the following season after that. Then obviously we could have got top 4 the following season after that, but finished 5th behind Tottenham. So there's a lot of kind of situations where not only were we not obviously achieving stuff in the league, we then stopped winning trophies altogether. We didn't win, obviously he's not won another trophy since then. So again, he's kind of learning on the job how to kind of treat players obviously a certain way in terms of trying to stamp his authority, trying to get the signings he wants through the door, maybe switching like different tactics and different styles and stuff like that. And this is, again, all learning at Arsenal. And I think we definitely kind of suffered as a team and as a club during this period of time, because I don't think we had that kind of stability maybe needed after losing kind of a massive figurehead like Arsene Wenger, like I said. But listen, he's definitely improved since then. And again, I feel like season on season, he has got better. But in any other kind of walk of life or any kind of job, you could argue that potentially he could have been sacked earlier, just because, again, certain kind of objectives weren't reached in terms of not getting into the Champions League 2 or 3 seasons, not winning another trophy since the FA Cup trophy as well. So you've got to look at those kind of situations as well, man. So, but then you got the 2022-2023 season where for the first time, I was like, okay, cool. This is kind of what I wanted to be seeing in terms of the football we were playing. We kind of shot up the top of the league out of nowhere. We had an excellent first half of the season. I think we won something like 15 out of 17 games, 1 draw, 1 loss. Got like 51 points in the first half of the season. Crazy. And then obviously at the second half of the season, again, few injuries. We probably didn't have the squad needed as well. Again, Jesus went down. Saliba went down injured. We had to play Rob Holding. And then we ended up bottom in the league, which is very obviously disappointing at the position we were in because 93% top of the league and to not win it is gut-wrenching. And obviously, you know what it's like in a title race with Manchester City, man. Once they hunt you down, it is a long day, man. If you've not got your act together, do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was disappointing, man. But with that, I feel like the good thing that happened through that season, the kind of expectations definitely got up to the level where I thought he needed to be anyway, in terms of not just being content of getting into the Champions League, actually wanted to compete for the league and trying to win the major trophies. And obviously the next season again, where we kind of had another opportunity to try and win the league, that Aston Villa game, man, where we won 16 out of 18 games in the second half of the season, one draw to Man City, and then that defeat to Aston Villa that ended up costing us the title on the last day, losing out on 2 points, which again, disappointing. But for me, my kind of issue, again, with the league and obviously the title challenges, I think it's very hard and very difficult to win the league. My kind of issue with Arteta is kind of the cups, not picking up some kind of cups on the way. I know, obviously, when you guys had Klopp, he won the Champions League, but when he's not winning the Champions League in the leagues, he did very well picking up a couple of Carabao Cups, picked up an FA Cup, just to keep it turning. Yeah, exactly, bro. Just to keep it turning, man. Picked up a Super Cup here and there. So, and I feel that's key for a manager, man. When you can't win the league, and no, I mean, it's very difficult to win the league every single season. Obviously, the Champions League is even more difficult. But when you're not doing that, I think it's very crucial. You've seen it with Pep and you've seen it with Jose Mourinho. When with their first season, they make sure they get that Carabao Cup ready in the bank. So they know they've got kind of a trophy there, even if they don't get their main kind of couple, that they know it's not an unsuccessful season because they've picked up a bit of silverware, and it all adds to the cabinet. So that was kind of my gripe with him, man, because again, in those kind of periods of time where we were finishing 8th and 5th, we were in the Europa League a few years and we didn't even get to a final under him. And there was a particular year, I think it was the 2021 season, where we obviously lost to Villarreal and they ended up winning the trophy, beating Man United in the final, where I felt that was a perfect opportunity to win it in that season. So yeah, my kind of issue with Arteta is, again, 6 years. He started to get a lot of money towards the back end of obviously his tenure, which is obviously now where obviously the summer we had this summer, a couple of summers ago when we bought Declan Rice and Kai Havertz, things like that. And I think potentially you're looking at the kind of the expectation and the expenditure that he spent. You're expecting a couple trophies in that period of time, which obviously we've not gotten. But for me, I do think, because again, there's people that are Arteta out, Arteta in. I'm quite balanced. I think, again, you could argue and say maybe he's fortunate to still keep his job based off the lack of trophies. But at the same time, you look at actually what he's done. He's built back the expectations, and definitely defensively, we are very, very good in terms of how well we're structured, how well we're set up. And also stuff like our Big Six record, where we used to get slapped about so many times. I'm looking, 5-1s, 8-2s to Man United, 6-0 at the bridge against Chelsea. Like, we used to get 6-3 at Man City. We used to get beat quite heavily, quite a lot. And I definitely think like he's done a fantastic job turning that around in terms of we can go to big teams away from home. We can go to teams at home and beat them. We beat you a few times at the Emirates. We've gone away from home and beat the likes of Chelsea and Tottenham and Man United quite recently as well. So yeah, I think there's definitely positives to take in that. I just think the one thing that is definitely missing for sure is kind of the silverware now, because again, you've built kind of the team that he wants. We've got kind of every kind of component in terms of replacements and personnel and starters now. I just think you're looking at the metrics and thinking they've got to start winning some trophies now. This should be the start of a legacy where you're looking at the likes of people like Saliba, Gabriel, Declan Rice, and they've got a few Premier Leagues, they've got a Champions League, they've got a few cups in there as well, and they've actually built up like a little bit of a dynasty at Arsenal. And obviously, as of yet, people like Gabriel, people like Declan Rice, Saliba, they've not won any trophies with us yet, and they've been here 3-4 seasons. So yeah, that's kind of my thing now, man. That's kind of the thing he needs to do, to be honest with you. And I think this season, man, I know obviously, because again, I said Liverpool were going to win the league at the start because your window was crazy. Like on paper, obviously. I
wish it didn't happen, no?
Bro, listen, you can still win the league. I've not completely written you out, even obviously you're in a bad run of form. Yeah, a bad run of form at the minute. But I think when it comes to kind of Arsenal in terms of the project we've got, the 6 years, the amount of money we've spent, I think in that perspective, it's like we need to win the league from that kind of point of view, because it's like, this is kind of your chance now. Like, if you're not going to have a team good enough to win a league after 6 years and after having kind of the same kind of voice in your head in terms of the managerial, coaching you defensively going forward as well, and having the kind of the players in their kind of peak kind of ages. You got Saka at 24. You got people like Declan Rice 24, 25. Gabriel's 27. Saliba 24. Like these are your star main players in their kind of peak ages. If you don't have that kind of objective to try and win the league and win the league after coming so close a couple of seasons ago, then I don't know when you're going to win it. So that's kind of my kind of thoughts on Mikel Arteta. I think he's obviously done done a good job of putting Arsenal in a certain position in terms of being able to be favourites for a Premier League or be going far in the Champions League and maybe getting to a semi-final final. But it's just that question for me is he going to be the guy to take us over the line and actually do it himself, or do we need someone else to kind of take the reins? We've seen it before where people kind of like take over and they're kind of the guys that pushes it over the edge, even though another guy's kind of built up the team. So I don't know. Maybe it might be that kind of situation, but we'll have to wait and see, man. But again, this season is a great season for him to do it. We made a great start, but we'll have to wait and see to the end of the season, man, if he's got enough in the tank to actually get these guys over the line.
He should have. The amount of signings he made, you know what I mean? He should have. The thing with Arteta, with me, like when I first saw him, same as you, like the lack of experience. That's the thing that it's not my team, but I'm doing it from a football fan, point of view. When I looked at him, I thought like assistant to Pep Guardiola, never managed the team before. Sometimes the big players will put you to the sword because their egos could disrupt you as a head coach because you've never done it before. But I like the way he's doing until I found out how much he spent. You know what I mean? And and I said, wow, over $1 billion. At the time it was about 750 million. I think that's what it was. But then I looked at the players you bought. Are they the ones, you know what I mean, that's going to take you over the line? Because majority of the players that you bought, tops, is Jesus, Havertz, Havertz. They're just, they're not first teamers, are they? Really, they are something that you bring on off the bench majority of the time, or squad rotation kind of players. I never thought of them as a first teamers, if you know what I mean, tops.
Yeah.
But then the season goes along, it goes on, and I see improvements, if you know what I mean, like the defensive side, because that's where you got to start. You got to start from the defense to go all the way to the attack, if you know what I mean, tops. And that's how we done it as well. I remember, like, why didn't Liverpool win league titles down the years? Why would we always struggle? Majority of the times, the goalkeeper. You know what I mean? The goalkeepers that we had wasn't at the top, quality standards, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We got in Alisson, then we've got Van Dijk before that, and then we've got Robertson, and then obviously we already had Trent. Matip was already there. So, the height of the squad got bigger. And the goalkeeper became obviously one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I think he's the best Premier League goalkeeper I've ever seen, especially the way he performs consistently when he plays as well. And then we just worked our way up to midfield, made it hard work in midfield, and then the best attack at the time, with Firmino, Salah, and Mane, and we just didn't look back then. Because the only issue that we had Man City. Whatever they want, but. The reason I'm saying about Liverpool is what you're doing as well. You started from the goalkeeper all the way to the defense, and now you're sorting out your midfield, and obviously the striker that you bought, Gyökeres as well. So you took it step by step, and now like you're way ahead of us, Man City. I think was it 3 points or 4 points?
4 points off Man City, 8 points off. I think.
Yeah, so it has been improving season in and season out. It's just like when the pressure is on with Arsenal. That's where the issue comes in. When someone's right on your neck, then like you said, 93% of the season you was top of the league. I think Man City was only 4% as far as
I seen the graphic. I think we were top for 158 days, and they were top for like 14 or something. So like 2 weeks. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's something mad. So yeah, and I agree with you, Fuzi, bro. Like I feel like for me, and this is why when obviously George Mo's always, and he knows what he's doing. He's always pressing me for Arsenal. Bro, he knows what he's doing, man. Arsenal gonna win the league. This is their time. I always say, bro, I'm waiting till March, April. I know my team, man. I know when the pressure is on. I've seen it time and time again. It's not about even personnel. I've seen us against Newcastle. have our best team, bar Saka, and we lost home and away because it was a semi-final and there was pressure on the game because we had to win it to get to the final. And that's where my issue is. Even against PSG, even though we had a few players out and we did have a few injuries during that game, I feel like even the performance didn't match even the players we had on the pitch because it was the pressure again. Another semi-final. We know we have to win these games to get to the final of the Champions League. I just don't think we dealt with the pressure as well as we should do. So that's for me, that's where I want to see the kind of the difference. Obviously, some of the good things I've seen so far this season is the fact that we've places that we normally struggle at. We lost twice in a row against Newcastle the last couple of seasons. We've beaten them. We've not won at Fulham for the last 2 seasons. We've beaten them away from home. We lost twice at home to West Ham at the Emirates the last 2 seasons. Them at home. We drew at home to Crystal Palace last year 2-2. We beat them at home this season. So these are already 4 games already where we've notoriously dropped points against these kind of lower end teams that we've picked up maximum points against this season. So that's obviously a positive in terms of being able to get more points than we did last season and the season before. But for me, it is the March, April that kind of region, bro, whether it's in the Champions League, whether it's still in the FA Cup, whether it's in the league, where the pressure's on. And like I said, it doesn't even matter about the team. I remember us being 2-0 down against Southampton, who already got relegated at the Emirates because it was just the pressure of trying to keep up with Manchester City in that title winning side. I think we drew 3-3 at home at the end. So again, it wasn't even the team. The team wasn't that good. Like, we should have beat them. But bro, pressure in football, I think people underestimate it, man. It can make the things that seem easy to players. Like, you've seen it with, I'm trying to think, Harry Kane for the World Cup. Scores penalties all the time. Against France, he blasts it over the bar. The pressure. This is it. You never do that again. Like, but he's such a good penalty taker. But the pressure of taking a penalty, bro, it's just crazy, man. So for me, man, I think it's more of a mental thing with Arsenal, man. I think we've got the players good enough. I think the squad's good enough. I think the players as a collective are good enough to win a title. I just think mentally, have they got the nerve? Can they see out the difficult moments? Because we've seen it before, Fuzi, as well. When you go for the title, when we've seen Leicester and Chelsea, there's always a period, maybe March, April time, where they just win 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, because they know they're the kind of pressure.
You know why, Pops? Because I don't think people judge the season. This is what I say about experience of football. People need to grasp it some way, somehow. There's 2 parts of the season. The beginning of the season, teams are always trying to find their way. And they play open, expansive football, you know what I mean? And you score a lot of goals against each other. There's no defense, doesn't really matter that much. And then you got the second half when teams are fighting for something. If you know what I mean, like where obviously the relegation zone, they have to get out of that. The higher you finish, the more money you get. You finish, obviously, then you go for the Conference Europa League, and then you go for the Champions League and the Premier League. So every team has something to play for at the end of this, the second part of the season. This is why it's different from the first part, and I don't think people look into that. This is why teams need that. That's why you guys always struggle with that part, because I don't think you've, analyzed that enough. Because if you look at Man City and Liverpool, why are they always doing what they did and won the league? Because they've analyzed that side of the game. There's 2 parts of the season. One side, you got at one point you're playing open, expansive football. You're scoring a lot of goals and you're looking good. And then the second part, oh shit, what's happening here, man? Like, we're not scoring a lot of goals and we're beating teams by the odd goal here and there. And this is what they said about Arne Slot last season. The second part, he struggled really badly because it's the pressure, number one, and number 2, teams play more deeper, more compact, and more defensive. And I don't think anyone looks into that. This is where Arsenal have been struggling, and maybe they learned from that the last few seasons. Because as they say, like, football is an education, isn't it? You keep learning, you keep getting better. This is why when I look at us this season, we come in with an attitude, arrogant attitude, thinking like, we've got all this firepower, we could score them on the pitch, but at the same time we could transition during the season. But it hasn't happened because we ain't scoring a lot of goals. You know what I mean? And we're not doing what we're supposed to do in the pitch, and we're 8th now. So I think with you guys, I think he has to have learned, Tops. I can't believe he's gonna go with the same. I know where the old that comes from because of what you've seen in the past, but I can't believe now, like, the drop off of certain teams. He's going to go into the second part of the season, all like worried about, what's coming behind him, anything like that. Because you got to learn, man. You know what I mean? You spend enough money. And not only that, I honestly think this is his last season if he doesn't win any major trophy, because the way he spent money last summer and the amount of players you brought in, like 3 players for every position, that
Yeah.
should get you, you know, the title. And if it doesn't, he's in deep trouble, in my opinion. Top.
Yeah, I agree, bro. And I think the difference between obviously this season and a lot of obviously seasons he's had before is that we've got a proper sporting director now. We've got Andre Berta in, who again has high hopes.
Wasn't Edu any good?
The thing with Edu, yeah, I feel like Edu, I mean, he did have some good deals. Like he got over the Declan Rice deal, which fair enough. Obviously, everyone was happy with that at the time. We bought in Urin Timber under his tenureship as well. But there was a lot of deals with Edu where I feel like it was kind of short term. It wasn't kind of deals where you can think 2, 3, 4 years time. Is this going to be the kind of end goal of what we're trying to do? For example, a Jesus, for example, we bought him for £50 million. It was still, I think, like 25, 26. So you're thinking, okay, is Jesus going to be the main striker for us in 2, 3, 4 years' time? Probably not at that time, considering he never got more than 15 goals. So you're looking at that kind of expenditure of money. Could we have used that in other kind of areas? And again, obviously Edu was very big on kind of the Brazilian kind of connection as well. There's a few deals that he got like with Jesus and a couple of other players as well, where you think, is that kind of the right situation? Obviously, the season before last, in his last ever kind of transfer, was horrific. We bought Sterling and obviously Marino Calafiori, and that was it. And we bought a cup-tied goalkeeper in Neto from Bournemouth, who couldn't play in the League Cup, which is kind of crazy. So, yeah, Edu didn't really leave a lasting impression. And I just feel like, for me, you just see the difference between what he was doing and what Berta did this season alone. We bought 8 players in. This is the most I've ever seen Arsenal play. By players, by the way. Vuzi, like 8 plays in one window, and also as well, we covered every kind of position and every kind of area that we've been learning for years. Exactly, bro. Yeah, no, this is it, and that's where I feel Edu has to get criticism, because we've been saying as Arsenal fans we need a replacement or a backup for Saka for about 3-4 years now, and it's not come. We've just not got one. And first season we got Madueke. I know obviously at the time people were kind of losing their heads, but I feel like
we was actually on a stream. I think me and Mo are the only one that actually defended Madueke. I think he's a good player. I said, like, I don't think he's a first team, you know, regular. But I think for a couple for Saka, that's not a bad deal. Like I know he comes from Chelsea, but I don't know why people moaning about Madueke, because he was never going to be a first team. But the thing is, Tops, you need a player that could cover all the positions up front, right? He could do that. He could play behind the striker. He could play on the left. He could play on the right. And he will never make, you know, he will never complain, because, you know, some players, they think they're too good. Oh, I can't play there or anything like that. But if you got a squad player like that, you could utilize for other positions, mate, then you'd be laughing at everybody else, because not many teams have that.
Yeah, 100%. But I think, again, probably PSD from Edu, if I'm being honest, because I felt like people thought, okay, Madueke, that's going to be our kind of marquee kind of attacking signing. Because I remember at the time we hadn't signed Gyökeres yet either, so we didn't know if we were going to get a striker. But again, we're dealing with someone that was very experienced in terms of Berta getting deals over the line. So I think, we just needing to trust him a bit more. But yeah, Madueke, get him coming in. Like I said, getting a proper striker. This is the first time we've got one in since Arteta's probably been here, really. An actual striker that's a number 9, not someone that is like a Kai Havertz or a Jesus who can play up there, but it's kind of a false 9. So that's kind of a new thing as well. Then we got Eze too on top of that on the left, someone that can be a replacement for Odegaard, which again, someone we've been all crying out for a replacement for Odegaard. Then you look at our defense, a proper replacement for Saliba, because we've not had that since Rob Holding, and obviously he wasn't good enough. Someone that can play left back in Capie, another replacement for a Calafiori who can be injury prone. So all these kind of things holes we're kind of plugging during the season, man, during this transfer window. And I think that is probably the most impressive thing, that maybe not in terms of the personnel in itself, but the amount of positions we kind of plugged at one time. So there is no excuse. We've not had Odegaard really for the majority of the season. I think it's been like 4 games, and he's been injured in like 3 of them. He's had to come off in like three out of the 4 games. But we've not really, no one's even said anything, because we've had Eze there. Like, no one's even mentioned it. Like I said, and that's a good thing, man. Like, and obviously Havertz is another one where he was our main striker for the last 2 seasons. He's played 1 game, and no one's mentioned that. Like, because we've got options there to play. Jesus has been out for a year. You've got the likes of obviously Martinelli's now injured. Madueke's been injured for 2 months, and no one said anything. Saliba was injured for a month. At Anfield, he got injured. Mascara came in and did a fantastic job. This is what you need, and this is why I feel like squad players are crucial for this kind of reason in particular. They come in for a period of time, do a job, steady the ship, and then they come out when the main player comes back in. That's what you need to do, squad players. Before, when we had an injury problem, we'd use a squad player, but he'd be playing for 6-7 months, because the guy that we need is injured for ages, and we haven't got any other kind of players to plug the hole. So yeah, man, I think in terms of how it's set up for him, man, in terms of Arteta, man, in terms of not using injuries as an excuse no more. Like we had that last season because of the poor transfer window that we had, to be fair. But that's not an excuse now. Like we've got enough players, the squad's there, squad's ready. Like I said, after the international break, we should be getting Martinelli back. We should be getting Madueke back. Gyökeres should be coming back as well. Havertz too. That's 4. Odegaard as well. That's 5 players that we've not had for the last couple. Just coming back into the squad. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and we've still already got Saka and Eze and all these guys. So Trossard's playing very well too so far, man. So, bro, it's listen, I've got no more excuses for him. Not that I would do anyway. Bro, you've got to just deliver now. Do you know what I'm saying? You've got the team now, bro. We're starting the season well as well. So, listen, if he doesn't win it now, bro, he's never going to win it, bro. I can't lie. Just because, and this is not me disrespecting like Man City or Liverpool in terms of what they're doing, because they've got managers that have won the league, so you've got to respect it. And they are definitely capable of winning it with the teams they've got. But I'm just talking from an Arsenal perspective in terms of this is the chance now. Like everything's set up for you to kind of do it. We're in a position where we're top. We've got a lot of players, good squad players that can rotate and do their thing. And we should be hungry enough to kind of win some silverware now because we've not won any under this manager since the FA Cup. And obviously this team's not won any at all together. So, yeah man, I think for me, bro, it's now or never for the Premier League. We've got to win it this season, man. And hopefully we do it, bro.
100%. This is a great convo, man. I really like about, man. I'm glad I'm back on the chat shows. Let me just put it that way. Hot Father says, City have smelt blood now. I think Pep wants to go out with a bang. Yeah, he's gonna leave, isn't he? I thought, I
think it's gonna it's gonna be 10 years. Obviously, the end of the season, so it could be a good time for him to kind of like bow out and stuff.
Tops, do you think he overstayed like Fergie a bit?
Potentially, but potentially. I feel like that. You know, when he won the treble, I thought that was the perfect chance,
time, bro.
Yeah, perfect. Like literally, because I feel like he was only even staying that long because he hadn't won the Champions League, and that season it all came together: Champions League, Prem, and the FA Cup in the same season. Haaland, great records, bro. Sometimes you just gotta know when to just bow out and just be like, you know what? There's no more. I've achieved anything. I've achieved everything. I've got the Champions League now. I'm gonna go. He stayed, and to be fair, he won the Premier League the next season. But yeah, man, it just feels like again he's kind of rebuilding the team again this season. Obviously, they're definitely going to be in the race, but whether they win it or not, obviously, is another thing. So yeah, man, I think potentially I think he's probably overstayed it, if I'm being honest, man. But he's still winning trophies, so we'll have to see what he does this season, man. But yeah, I think potentially that treble season was perfect for me, man.
Yeah, 100%. It's like Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. Like,
Wenger definitely. Yeah,
they should have left a long time ago. I was saying like it's not even jealousy because of what they did in the past, like because you know when Bravo talks about the other teams, they say you're jealous. No, I'm not jealous. I'm just trying to give you guys a heads up. The team aged, both teams, and they didn't replace a lot of players, and they stayed, and then now look at both of the clubs. You know what I mean? One hasn't won the league since 2013, the other one 2004. Because when you leave a club behind, you got to leave it in a good way, like Jurgen did. You know what I mean? He said, "Is what you leave behind is important, not when you come in." You know what I mean? So, and then he left the team like that for us last season, which I think the average age now is about 24. I think something like that. So we still got years on these players that he left behind to win more league titles once we start, getting it together. So this is what I said about Arsenal and Ferguson. Ferguson was just desperate to break Liverpool's record.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, man.
And he did, really. Let me see what says in top. You sound like a quality guy, man, but Arsenal ain't winning the Prem, mate. I'm not giving up on LFC. Yeah.
Big up, bro. Big up yourself up in the comment, man.
you know, with your players, I want to talk about them, obviously, some of them individually. You look at Raya, When I look at him, if he wins the Premier League, I think he's the smallest goalkeeper I've ever seen win the Premier League.
Yeah.
And what do you think of Raya as a goalkeeper? Is because I've always said like Arsenal need a big presence at the back. You know, like what you had with Seaman, Lehman, and all that stuff. Was it Lukic before that?
Yeah.
These were like big presence in your goal, and now like you got a slight goalkeeper that obviously Raya is doing a great job. Don't get me wrong. I'm even shocked, bro. But is he the goalkeeper that's for the long term? You think like?
That's a good question. I'm not even sure.
I said All Black would have suited you guys. Someone like that. I mean, someone that could save anything, and he puts the fear on the opponents, like Alisson does, Schmeichel did, etc. These other goalkeepers that was in the Premier League in the past that won the Premier League. But yeah, I look at Raya. I like him, but is it the long term? If you're going to win championships, that's going to get you. titles. I don't know, because goalkeepers, the best goalkeepers, to be honest, tops win you like 15 points a season. You know what I mean? Like you experienced Seaman before, Lehman after that. That's what they do. But I don't see him as that, because he's just the stature. It's just not. It's not something that's gonna be in the long term, if you know what I mean. Sorry to interrupt, bro, but that's what I'm trying
to say. No, it's all right, man. No, it's cool. And I get what you're saying, man. The thing is, the last couple of seasons, I feel like Raya has been very, very good for us. Like last season, I remember the double save he made at Aston Villa, the saves he made at Old Trafford when we should have lost and we drew 1-1. He made a double save against Atlanta. He saved the penalty and then saved another shot as well. Even this season, even though he's not had much to do, he's come up with some good saves. Obviously, made a mistake in the Sunderland game, the last game. But for me, bro, the thing with Raya, I feel like with him, obviously he's got some good traits. He's got some fantastic traits. Even though he's small, he's very good at claiming crosses, like from corners. I'm shocked. Very shocked. I mean, I feel like I read an article. I think Arteta and a couple of the people on the team did some data research on him at Brentford, and they said that his claims were like one of the top 5 in Europe, and he was in the championship at the time. So I think they've definitely done their due diligence in terms of getting a keeper with that kind of speciality. So yeah, when it comes to crosses, I'm never worried when it's either corners or kind of crosses from in play, because he just claims everything. And like you said, it's kind of weird considering he's so small. But I do feel like one of his major weaknesses is probably long shots. So again, fantastic free kick you guys scored, Szoboszlai. But then you kind of wonder, if we had someone like a Donnarumma, does he get a fingertip save to it just because he's a bit taller? That's literally it. That's something, obviously, it's not Raya's fault. He's that size. But I feel like certain kind of long shots from the top corner, maybe he might struggle to get to just because he's not got that big stature. But in terms of your other size of his game, I think obviously he's good with his feet. He's good at anticipating as well. Like I said, he's very good at reflex saves. But I don't know, man. There's something, I get what you mean. He doesn't seem like an Alisson or even an Edison or even a Donnarumma. He doesn't feel like that, even though he's performing at a decent level, and he's been very good for us. And it's not a thing where I'm like...
Because the reason I say that, Tops, is once you start winning titles, you're going to be targeted. You're going to be targeted, you know that?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Strong enough to be that goalkeeper, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to criticize him because he's been doing an outstanding job.
Yeah.
But you need that big presence in goal, bro. You really do, because they get you they win you titles, they win you points. And when I look at him, when the pressure is on, when you start winning titles, is he the one that's gonna stand up? That's what I look at it. But yeah, I could be wrong. Listen, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because I don't want to criticize him, because he's been doing an outstanding job in goal, man. When you first bought him, I said, really? Like,
same. Especially because Ramsdale had a good season before, so everyone's like, But yeah, no, I get what you mean. I mean, Arteta he was after before. I think we ended up signing Kepa. The season before, he did want João Garcia, who's obviously gone to Barcelona, who is a bit more of a bigger stature, and obviously apparently he's playing well for Barcelona now. So it's definitely, it wouldn't surprise me if Arteta does replace him, because he's had, I think, the most goalkeepers in his period of time since he's been manager. I think it's something like 9 goalkeepers he's bought. It's crazy. So he does rotate. He's bought a plethora of goalkeepers, or had a load of number ones. You think about the likes of Leno and then Martinez, who's at Aston Villa. We had Matt Ryan on loan as well. He was a number 1 for a period of time. Obviously Ramsdale, now Raya. We bought Kepa. So he does like to buy a keeper, man. So listen, Raya's I think 31. So it wouldn't be surprising me in a couple of years' time he's looking at another kind of bigger figure keeper to come in and replace him, man. So, but we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully he can get the job over the line and get the job done, man. Because again, I do think he's a good keeper. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he can help us, man.
Yeah. About Gabriel. I got a comment over here. You know what I mean? I had to talk about him. Is he the best defender in the world?
Voice. Tough, man. It's tough. You know, you see with these questions, Fozy, man, the reason I don't like answering them is because for me, I'm old school. I like to associate best players in the world with trophies they've won as well as their performances. I don't really like in this new kind of modern day era. And I feel like it comes from fans that maybe don't celebrate winning trophies on a regular basis. So they kind of use this as kind of their trophy cabinet in terms of, well, my player is better than X player. So let's say Saka's better than Foden or whatever. But when you're kind of winning trophies, these kind of conversations are not really important to you because you're just happy that you're winning the Premier League or the Champions League or a cup or whatever. So, but with Gabriel, I think he's definitely one of the best in the Premier League for sure. I think he has been for a couple of years now, man. I think I've been watching Arsenal against for a while, and I know Saliba gets all the credit and stuff like that, and he's fantastic as well. And I think he's a bit more easy on the eye to look at. But I think probably for the last year and a half, Gabriel's probably been the better out of the two, just because of his defending, his leadership that comes with it. Obviously, his attacking prowess at the other end of the pitch is phenomenal, man. Probably one of the best I've seen at Arsenal, even if not the best from a defender in terms of attacking the ball aggressively. The amount of goals we get from not only him scoring them, but him flicking it on. We've seen it obviously the other day. Him flicking on.
Very brave, man.
Very brave, man. Very courageous, very brave. Great leap, great strength. Very aggressive in the air as well. And I think you need it. You need that at both boxes, man. You need that to defend, and you need that.
That's what we don't have. So yeah,
exactly, man. And the thing is, that's it. The thing is, you've got someone like Van Dijk, who I think is very good in the air, fantastic. But I don't know if he has the aggression. I think if he was a bit more aggressive, he probably scored more goals as well. Because 100%. In the air, he's quality. Like, you can't really beat him, but he just lacks that bit of aggression when he's going in for stuff. But yeah, man, I think for me, Gabriel, man, he's definitely up there for sure. But like I said, bro, I like to have these conversations when they're the best in the world, when they've got some medals, bro. That's it, my guy. When they've got some medals, some trophies with them, then I'll say it, man. You know what I'm saying? But until then, it's kind of like, you're the best, but what have you won with that talent? I need to see that in a final. I need to see that you winning the Premier League. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it, bro.
No, I agree with you 100%. I had Igal on the show once. We was discussing. This was a couple of years ago, actually.
Okay.
And then he was telling me, they're all your players are the best players in the world. I said, wow.
big up a gal, but that's just not my vibe, bro. Like, everyone's the best. We've got the best manager. It's like, bro, no, man.
And he's the best player. Saka is the. I was thinking, bro, do you know what world class is? Do you actually know what it represents? You have to earn the right.
Yes.
The one we were still discussing the most was Saliba, and I said Saliba is a good player. At the time, I think he was only 2 years into his, first team career at Arsenal. Sorry, obviously he went to Marseille and down there. Yeah. So I said to him straight away. I said to him, bro, like world class. All the best players that ever played football, they wasn't world class within the first 2 years. They earned the right to be world class. Even they won trophies, they still had to earn the right to be world class. It has to be like, 3 or 4 years before you start considering players world class, because what you need is consistency in football. And if you haven't got consistency in football, it's a bit of a struggle calling players world class. And he just wasn't having it. I said, okay, man. And then a few seasons go by. You know what? he didn't talk no more. You know what I mean? But you're 100% right, bro. You gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. Like, if you look at the greatest players of all time, like, they earned the right to be.
That's it.
The greatest players like Maldini's and all that stuff. Nobody. If I mention Maldini to you, did you know like Maldini was originally a right back when he first started?
No.
Yeah, he was right-footed. He was actually right-footed because the guy who was at the right back at the time, I forgot his name. He was a legend at the football club, and he couldn't replace him. What Maldini did was he practiced on his left foot a lot, and then he became a left back. That's how. We could have missed out on Maldini. We could. I mean, if he was waiting for the right backs, and people don't know that about Maldini. That's why, that's how much determination you need to be a great player, and that's what Maldini did, man. And he became, the greatest defender in my opinion I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you could say a lot of like Beckenbauer and all these players, but Maldini. Like, when I watch Maldini, not even just as a fullback, as a centre back as well, bro. There was a game with Barcelona in the Champions League final. I think it was at Barcelona, really. They made the final. I think Johan Cruyff was in charge of Barcelona, and Capello was in charge of AC Milan. Costa Curta, I don't know if you know Costa Curta. And Baresi were both injured. So one of Maldini had to step in as a centre back, and there was another guy, I think, came from the substitute bench. He used to play, I think, a regular sub, and he played next to him. Them two closed that Romario and Stoichkov, bro, throughout the game, and they actually battered AC Milan as well. I don't think, Barcelona as well. I don't even think Barcelona scored a goal in that game. I think it was about 3 or 4-0, something like that.
4-0, I think it was,
Yeah. And people don't know that, like, the guy was an all-round defender, and we could have missed out on him if he didn't practice with that left foot. You know what I mean? So, listen, being the best, it takes you time, and you got to give that player patience. Because if you put the problem with Arsenal fans is they put too much pressure on your players, and as soon as the pressure is there, That's why they fall apart, at some stage of the season. Just support the players, let them, give them time and patience. Stop all this, arguments off the pitch and calling them out. Because at the end of the day, Tops, football in the modern day is all about social media. Believe it or not, the players are on it. If you know what I mean, they see this stuff, bro.
Yeah,
and then when they see this stuff, what do you think? How do you think they're gonna feel? My own fans are against me, and I'm gonna go on the pitch with this pressure every single time. Should I try hard? Because what they said about my parents and my wife and my kids and all that stuff. Should I actually try? You give them that doubt, and this is how football's become. Unfortunately, man. In the old days, you wouldn't hear shit like that. That's why teams used to just win, even if they haven't won it for a while, and all of a sudden they start winning titles. But I've always thought that about Arsenal. It's just the pressure off the pitch is heavy, and that's why when the pressure is on at some stage of the season, they always fall apart and all that stuff. But with Gabriel, bro, he's doing a fantastic job, to be fair. And what I like about him, we used to call him a bozo, innit, like Konate. But it shows even if you have a bozo gene, like you could actually improve. If you know what I mean. If you had that in you, because some people when they call a defender a bozo, they give up on them and say, nah, he's got this. He ain't never gonna improve. Bro. But he's gave help. He's gave help to people now. Like if you have that, you can still improve.
And bro, when obviously people were saying that he was a bozo, I was never with it in terms of like obviously he was making mistakes, but I always thought like a bit like you, bro, like he's still a defender. I think at the time he was like 24, 25. So I was like, some of the kind of prime defenders, even like Van Dijk, when you look at him, what age he came to Liverpool, 28, 20, 29, like there's still time for him to kind of iron these kind of mistakes out. So I was never on the thing of, oh, this guy's a bozo, he's never going to learn kind of thing. I was always like, he's making mistakes, he's ironing them out, let him learn from it, because it was just concentration mistakes. He wasn't like things that he could definitely not get rid of. He just needs to keep his concentration, because the majority of the games that he would make these mistakes, the other part, he'll be fine. And then he'd just do something mad, and you're like, why did you do that for? But he just fantastically just ironed them out, and like he just matured as a player and being able to make better decisions on the pitch. And like you said, he's guiding people like Saliba. I feel like Saliba's level definitely dropped when Gabriel tore his hamstring last year in April.
You just mentioned about Saliba. Big up Sal, by the way. Our guy Sal.
Yeah, big up Sal, bro. Come on, bro.
Big up, my brother. Big up, man. With Saliba, what I've always said about Saliba, like the French coach and myself, I don't know how I knew about the French the Champs. I didn't know he knew the same thing I was thinking. When I look at Saliba, the reason people have moved on from Saliba, he's a safe defender, bro. If you know what I mean, he's not really a defender that takes risks. If you know what I mean, but Gabriel takes risks. You know what I mean? The greatest defenders takes risks. He's always neat and tidy with passes, but you never see him get into tackles or anything like that. He's always careful. It's good in some sorts, but I love the defenders that are willing to take risks, and I don't think he does enough of that. With experience, maybe he will do it in the future, if you know what I mean. But that's why people, I think, prefer Gabriel more than him. It's like Ferdinand and Vidic. A lot of people prefer Vidic, remember, because he takes risks. And Ferdinand is a careful defender.
Yeah, calm. So
that's what I'm saying about Saliba. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, not having a lot of mistakes is good, but at the same time, sometimes you got to go out of position to help your players out, and he doesn't do enough of that. That's why I think Deschamps took him a while to put him in the French team, and I had that for years. I said for the last few years, about him, because when I look at him, I see a good defender, but he's just neat and tidy. But I've never seen him like back the other defenders when they need the backing, and I think he's been doing that recently. That's why people are talking less about him. I don't know if you agree with me, bro, but that's what
I think with Saliba at that period of time when he came in, because he was so mature and like you said, he didn't really make mistakes. And this is a kind of like a guy that came at Arsenal at 21 and new to the Premier League. And obviously at the time we were like, this is fantastic. Like he's a defender that doesn't make mistakes. He's someone that's very cool, calm, collective on the ball. He can play out from the back as well. But obviously there's still elements of his game, and still is now really, that obviously definitely needs to improve on. That's definitely one of the things. But I think that's what's probably key of having, like you say, having two that can kind of complement each other, because I think they both definitely do complement each other. Gabriel is very aggressive in certain areas in terms of in the air and on the floor, like you said. But then you do need someone that's a bit more calm and collective, can anticipate, because I do think Saliba's reading of the game is very, very good. So that he can anticipate what's going to happen before it happens, so he doesn't have to go sliding in and stuff like that. And he's more of a calmer head, a cool head at the back, even when the pressure's on a little bit, he can kind of play out from the back. So I think both of them really complement each other. And I think they both kind of need each other in terms of a partnership and their kind of attributes. But in terms of Saliba, man, I just think for me, he just needs to kind of carry on what he's doing. But again, I think in those kind of big games, stepping up in those kind of big games and being excellent. Like you said about Maldini, bro, you just describe him in a Champions League final, him winning it 4-0, keeping a clean sheet. That's what you kind of need.
And he wasn't even the centre back.
He wasn't even the centre back, bro. That's why I feel like for Saliba to kind of get to the next level, similar with Gabriel as well. They need to do that in those games, man. In those semi-finals, finals games, bro. And it doesn't matter who it's against. Like, it's just the occasion. I feel like when you see them step up in those kind of arenas, those kind of occasions, that's when you kind of get the ratings. A bit like Mbappe when you see him scoring in a World Cup final. It's like, no one even remembers who it was against. It's the occasion. Like, he stepped up and he's done it in a final, a World Cup final. And I feel like, for me, Gabriel and Saliba need that under their belt. Similar with Saka, to be honest with you, because I rate Saka, I think it's fantastic. But I feel like for him, again, himself, he needs a semi-final, final moment where he's the guy in that moment, the pressure's on and he's delivered and he steps up. That's when you kind of get elevated to another level, in my opinion. So, but yeah, man, I think Saliba is obviously fantastic. I'm glad, obviously, he signed a new contract as well in the summer, staying for another 4
I don't know how you guys
years.
are doing that without winning a trophy.
This is, bro, me too. I was very worried as well.
Like, players into contract.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, man, I was so worried about that period of time. Probably the last season when I think we had like Saka, Gabriel, I think Saliba, and someone else. It might have been Odegaard as well. They were all coming down to their kind of final 2 years of their contracts, and I'm like, how are we going to convince these guys to stay? But I think they've all signed a contract. So
the thing is, you better win the league or the Champions League. You know
this is it. You have to, man.
League, I think a lot of players will consider they're not going to sit around for 5 year projects.
No. And I said this before on my channel, bro. Like, you're looking at someone like, for example, like a Ben White. He signed for Arsenal at like 23. He's like 28 and 20, and he's not won a trophy yet. Like, he's not won in this period of time at Arsenal. So it's like, when you look at it like that, bro, these guys are not going to stay here forever. Like, there is going to be a period of time where they're just going to be like, well, you know what? I'm like 27, 28. I'm still not won anything of note. I need to kind of, even like someone like Declan Rice, like, he's another one. Bro, he's getting on a little bit. Like, he's like 20, 25. He's going to be wanting to win some major trophies, man. So, and I've seen it before, obviously, with my team in the past, bro. We've seen it with Adebayor, Nasri, Fabregas, all these guys, Van Persie. Well, we're not winning trophies in that period of time. They're moving on to other teams that end up going on and winning trophies. So, very key for us to do it.
Similar to this, wasn't it? That team. I think.
Yeah, very similar, man. Very similar.
Finished second or something as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of, I think 2007-8, we were 10 points clear in February, and then Eduardo broke his leg, and then we just blew it, man, again. So yeah, man, it's kind of you're right, it's kind of a similar thing. And then obviously the team kind of disbanded from that season. We ended up selling players and stuff like that. Obviously that was during a period where we were obviously trying to pay off the stadium too, so we weren't even buying anyone to kind of replace them of significant note either. So yeah, man, I think for me personally, it's very key for us to kind of get silverware over the line, to get these top players that we've got, because we have got some very good players to kind of stay at the club long term, because again, you don't really want to be sending these guys.
It says Arsenal team is young and ready for several years of dominance. They just need it. I don't want to say it but then again, I'm neutral on this channel now, so they have to win a trophy for them to dominate. Because
100%.
Once you taste that winning mentality, guys, goodness me, man, the world's your oyster, man. You can do whatever you want, because they're gonna want it more and more and more, and that's what's missing from Arsenal at the moment, guys. Because if they do it, good luck to the rest of us. Let me just put it that way. So I think we're all in trouble, man. We're all in trouble. I want to move on to the fullback, Calafiori, bro. What happened to Skelly?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of discord on Skelly, man. Big up Skelly every time, man. He's my guy. But yeah, bro, I feel like for me in the season, man, I think the kind of expectation was Skelly, who had a fantastic season last season. 18 or 17 he was at the start. 18 starting games. Had a great game against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Fantastic in the Champions League. Good in the league as well for a player that's normally naturally a midfielder into that left-back position. Did fantastically well. Yeah. And I think everyone was kind of expecting him to kind of be the same. But I think, to be fair to Calafiori, I think he's actually started the season very, very well, man. I think, again, he's kind of showing a bit of dynamism on that left-hand side. A lot of Arsenal fans were complaining that our left-hand side was a bit rigid and stale with Martinelli and whoever the left-back was. But I think this season, no one's really saying that as much, because he's seeing a bit more dynamism from Calafiori. He's popping up at the number 10 role, then he's right wing, then he's up front, then he's kind of just confusing the opposition defenders of where to kind of mark him because he's just all over the place. And I think he's helping Trossard get a bit more space on the left as well. But in terms of like Skelly, man, I'm not too worried. I think, again, people forget he's 18. He's
a midfielder by trade.
He's a midfielder by trade, bro. And don't be surprised if he ends up kind of maturing into a midfielder when he's 21, 22. Because, again, he's very young, man. People forget. And I feel like we do this with players that we just see naturally, like Saka. People think Saka, because we've seen him for 7-8 years, he's like 28, but he's like 24. Like, he's still young himself. So, yeah, man, I think with these players, man, I think because we're used to seeing them week in, week out for certain clubs, we kind of get used to it. And then when they're kind of brought out of the spotlight a little bit, we kind of get a bit worried. But listen, it's a long season. He's definitely going to be used definitely more throughout the season. We've got 4 competitions. We're going to get more injuries as well, probably in defense at some point. So, yeah bro.
Last year,
that's it, man. That's it. But this is what you need.
Do you think, like, if he was fit, you could have beat PSG? Because you already beat them, I think, in the group stage, was it?
Like, we beat them in the group stage too. No, potentially, man. I think him being fit could definitely have been a turning point in the game, because I remember in the first game we actually scored a goal that was ruled offside, Marino, and he's from a set piece, and that was kind of without Gabriel, and obviously that was Marino going in there. So the PSG that season was definitely susceptible for corners and set pieces and stuff, because even in the first game we scored a header from Kai Havertz from a cross. So yeah, I think he could have been the difference man for sure, not even defensively, just that, but going forward as well, because PSG, again, once they got that goal at the Emirates in the 3rd minute from Dembele, they kind of were sitting kind of deep, and we obviously expected us to kind of break them down, and normally a set piece is kind of the easiest way to do that. So potentially, man, but again, it's one of those things, bro, where I feel like for me, that's why you have a squad. That's why you have a team where, like, now, if Gabriel got injured, we can put in Mascara, or we can put in Capier. We can put in a decent level quality centre back, even though they're not as good as Gabriel, but he's someone that is going to be better than probably a Kivior would have been. So yeah, I think that's kind of key, man. And you're going to get injuries. Any part of the season, you're going to get injuries. You need a bit of luck, of course. You need to make sure you get your kind of key players fit and ready. But you also need a good squad to deal with it, bro. So yeah, man. That's what I think about that.
Yeah, 100%. I was going to move on to this guy anyway. He says Saka obviously Saka's been poor so far this season compared to his high standards. Do you think that?
No, you know what it is? People forget again. Like, Saka tore his hamstring last season, so he had surgery. He was out for 4 months. He then did his other hamstring in the second game of this season. So he's had a mixed start in terms of the last probably year and a bit in terms of being injured in and out of the team. I always felt, and I felt personally, we kind of rushed him back anyway last season. 100%, he came 100%. Back 100%. So he came back. He tore his hamstring. The diagnosis was, I think, 6 months, and we came back in 4 or something like that. So he came back in April, which I think, and he did it at the end of December. So I thought we rushed him back anyway. And I always said, if we do that, there is going to be a period of time where he's not going to be consistent. He's not going to be at his best, because he's trying to get his full fitness back and his full kind of form back, because I think we've kind of rushed him in a position where he's playing a lot. And even now, bro, the fact that Madueke's injured, he's having to play 3 games a week, which is not the situation he needs to be in. We should be playing him twice a week maximum. Madueke should be filling in the other week so he can recuperate and recover from these 2 hamstring injuries he's had in the last 6 months. So yeah, man, I think for me, this kind of level that he's at, I think should be expected, for the simple fact that, again, he's not had the full time to recover and get back to his best, being able to rotate with Madueke, not being injured again, not having the pressure on him as much. So I think when you have those kind of elements back in place, then I think you can then kind of judge him that. But again, he's still contributing here or there. And I feel like for me, it's one of those ones where I think obviously people are used to Saka kind of bailing us out every single season. But I think now it needs to be a period where we kind of share the responsibility a bit more, man. You need to see people like Trossard stepping up, Eze, Odegaard, because again, he's been kind of poor the last year or so. Odegaard, when he comes back, he needs to step up and score goals. We've got Gyökeres now. He needs to score some more as well. Havertz needs to contribute. Once you get that kind of balance, then I feel like, again, Saka can have a few quiet games or he'll be on the bench, and it's not going to be a massive deal. Whereas before, he's kind of been like the talisman at every single game. So, yeah, man, I think we definitely, especially after those injuries, man, it was always going to be a period of time where after the injuries and after he comes back, he's not going to be straight back to how he was before. It's just natural, especially with hamstring injuries as well. So, I think we're just going to be a bit patient with him and make sure he gets back to his best. But yeah, I think he's going in the set direction, to be honest.
Joshua over here has got a comment for you. He's saying, can't know how you say it? Nwaneri?
Nwaneri and Darwin rotate with him. Yeah. So with the Nwaneri, obviously the article came out saying that Arteta and obviously Ranieri see themselves in the kind of number 10 position. So the period where he was playing on the right, where I thought he actually did quite well last season on the right-hand side of Ranieri, that's not going to happen anymore. So he's not going to be playing on the right. He's either not going to play or he's going to be in that kind of number 10 role. We've seen, obviously, with Mikel Arteta, he's very particular when it comes to attacking players and what they do defensively. And I think, obviously, with Ethan being 18, he's still not got that kind of when to press, what kind of spaces to invade, what kind of lanes and channels to block. He's still not obviously got that to a T because, again, he's still a teenager. So I feel like Arteta is very hesitant in starting him or playing him in kind of game states that are in the balance. That's why he will never bring him on if we're 1-1 or we're winning 1-0, or he'll always bring him on where we really desperately need to bring an attacker on, or we're kind of won the game already. With Darwin, I think Darwin's a fantastic prospect. Obviously, again, he's 15. Not someone really that should really be playing regular football because, again, he just needs his body needs to develop, man. He needs to kind of get used to playing men's football. Again, wins loads of free kicks, fantastic talent. But someone that shouldn't have a load of pressure on him as well because, again, 15 years of age and someone that needs to be eased into kind of the team. But I think he's played more minutes than I even thought he'd play at a 15-year-old. Started it while he played in the Champions League, the youngest ever player in the Champions League history at 15 years of age. He's come on in Premier League games, came on at Anfield as well. So he's playing, man. So I think his kind of trajectory and his kind of development is on the right track, man, to be honest with you. So yeah, man. But we'll see what happens in the near future.
100%. I was always going to ask you about the Saka thing because I thought like he's always rushed, and now I see him walking with a limp. I'm thinking to myself, they damaged that guy, man. Like, what is going on? It's just too much football. Sometimes you got to save the player from himself, innit? Because even that he's injured, he'll still say, "Yeah, I want to play" and all that.
Exactly.
Stuff. I don't think they did that. I think they've ruined him some way somehow. But then again, when you got the backup right now that you have. He could get a lot of rest. I mean, you don't need to play him in every game. He can, play obviously the big games mainly. But if you have home games that you can win, you could step aside and put someone else there. If the game is not going right, get him off the bench and then change the game some way somehow. Manny says, "What final has Salah performed in?" LOL. Why you started that, man?
What's going on, bro?
Come on, man.
And the main.
Do you think I'm gonna say something? Actually, he did one, but Ramos took him out. That's it. That's the only one. That's the only one I remember.
and the key one was again, I was just about to say the penalty against Spurs. That saved me a lot of headaches. So yeah, thanks Salah for that. But more importantly, bro, how he performed last season literally made you win the Premier League.
All that stuff to be wiped out. You know what I mean? Like, get rid of that stuff because he's the one who won the Premier League last
season. Literally, man. Most goals, most assists. Won both trophies and the Prem, man. If that's not enough to be declared a world-class player, I don't know what is, bro.
It's like what Copfather says here. Arteta's ass has to be on the line now. No excuses. If he doesn't win a major trophy, either the Champions League or the Premier League, I think he's gone, guys. I don't think he's going to be there, man. I think even Arsenal fans are going to have to consider that as well. So you focus on your team, bro. Klopp won one league title. LOL. Why are you bantering me, man? What have I done to you? I'm here.
We come in peace.
For you guys, I've changed the channel's name. It's all about other people now, and you're still bantering me. Come on, man. Come on. The final one, bro. Gyökeres.
Yeah.
What do you think of him as a striker?
Yeah, Gyökeres.
Improvement. What I meant to say is there any improvement coming, or this is it? What we see?
No, I think there is improvement coming. Like, to obviously start off with, Gyökeres was the player that I wanted. Obviously, we were linked with Gyökeres and Sesko at the start of the summer window. I was definitely like, you know what, Gyökeres has got a proven record in Portugal. He scores goals. He's a goal scorer. Sesko, again, might be the better technical player in terms of hold-up play and link-up play, but he's very, obviously, inexperienced. And, again, he's going to need developing, and we're in a position and in a period where we kind of need players to kind of make more of a lasting impact straight away. We haven't really got 2 or 3 years for them to develop into something else. And you're kind of seeing the frustrations a little bit with Man United fans with Sesko in terms of he'll have a few good games, but then he's going to have a few bad games. And again, he's going to need time to adapt and obviously get used to the team and stuff like that. With Gyökeres, I feel like, again, obviously the injury to Kai Havertz has probably put more pressure on him than maybe was obviously going to be on him. Because, again, I feel like Havertz probably would have started that Man United game. He probably would have started all the big games, really, because he likes to go with Havertz, Arteta. And then he probably would have just fed in Gyökeres slowly throughout the season for him to get, obviously, used to kind of the Premier League again and obviously playing with Arsenal. Obviously, he started. Again, there's been a couple of games where obviously people are on about his touch and stuff like that, and he went through a period of time where he didn't score. But I do feel like in terms of his actual general play and his kind of chemistry with the team, he's definitely developing. He's definitely building up. He's definitely getting better in terms of what he needs to do outside the box. Because again, with Arteta, you can't just be a striker. Obviously, people have come to the terms with that. You can't just be a striker that just stands there and just waits for the ball. But he just doesn't play like that. He's gonna have to improve, which I think he is slowly improve his hold-up game play, improve him dropping into midfield, improve him linking with Saka and Eze and stuff like that. So I do feel like he was getting to that point. I think his actual last game against Burnley, he was absolutely fantastic. Literally, that's kind of the quality and the level that he needs to be at for the majority of his games, man. Because not only did he obviously score, but his kind of build-up play. He put 2 chances on a plate for Saka. He should have scored 2 goals, really. He did a fantastic pass into the path of Trossard across goal as well. That set up the second goal for Declan Rice. But then obviously got injured at halftime. We've not seen him since. So, but yeah, I'm happy with him, man. I think, again, and it's the kind of thing that annoys me about social media, man. I think the opening perceptions of players, it's either if you're not good in the first 2-3 games, they just everyone just writes you off. That's it. You're just done. That's it. You just don't coming back. Yeah, that's the story of Burts. Yeah, exactly. That's everyone knows he's a quality player. Obviously, he's having a rough period of time. But again, you guys wanted him at the start of the window, bro. You obviously thought he was a quality player. If you're going to give up after 11 games, then how you didn't really rate him, did you? Exactly, man.
Man City wanted him. Bayern Munich
wanted him. Bayern Munich wanted him. He's good for Germany. That's it, bro. That's it. And I feel like with obviously social media, stuff like that, players or fans don't give enough time to players that they say they like or they say they rate. They just want them to come in and just start scoring so they can maybe get some branding points on social media that my player's doing this X, Y, and Z. But bro, players go through. We've seen it like back in the day, bro. Thierry Henry used to go 3 or 4 games without scoring, not doing anything. But it doesn't mean he was a terrible player. Like that's just the way it goes, bro. So you've got to back these players if you actually rate them in the period of times where they're not playing well. Obviously, you can call it out and say he needs to do better, and that's fine. But to completely write off a player, like you say, even with Wirtz, completely write him off. He's only 22. You've just bought him. He's going to be here for. You've not got him on loan. Like he's not going to be here for 3 months. And then you go. You know what I mean? You back the player. He's going to improve. Obviously, he's got quality. He just needs to obviously get used to kind of the league and the physicality. Maybe playing him in a different position. And obviously, your team's not playing that well as well. So it's not like he's in a firing team and he's the only one. Like obviously, there's some kind of issues within Liverpool's team anyway. So you sort that out, and he can obviously integrate into the team. You're gonna start getting the best out of him for sure, man. So, but yeah, I think in terms of Gyökeres, obviously I'm happy with what I've seen. Obviously, I think there definitely is more to come. He's definitely going to score more goals, and I think he's definitely going to improve. And I think having the likes of Kai Havertz with him as well to take a bit of pressure in terms of being able to get substituted off, because people forgetting he's having to play before he got injured 3 games a week. He's not getting subbed off. We ain't got another striker, so he was playing every game. By the 3rd game, he's knackered, like he's running very intensely as well. That's one thing I will say about him. Off the ball.
Different to Portuguese league is
exactly, bro. That's it. The quality. That's it, bro. The quality, the kind of the quality of teams you're playing, the intensity of the games, the physicality of the games.
Different goalkeepers to what you faced in Portugal.
Exactly.
Better goalkeepers, the quality wise, highest of the higher. You know, I mean, there's nothing better than Premier League goalkeepers. You know, if you know what I mean. So there's one thing playing against the Portuguese goalkeepers. No criticism, but I'm just trying to give you the difference. You know, what I mean, how easy it is over there. Because look at Darwin Núñez. Like he scored over 35 goals in one season. If you know what I mean. So and then he arrived in the Premier League, and look what happened to him. He couldn't score goals anymore. So. But with Gyökeres, obviously he's played in the English league before, in the lower divisions for Coventry, and I think Brighton as well. I think he played in the Premier League for Brighton, hasn't he? So he knows the league. I just think like this, when you're coming to a team that's challenging and has different tactics to what you had before, it's going to take you time, if you know what I mean. And listen, Arsenal's not top for no reason. They're there because of the players getting them there, and he's been part of that because of he brings everyone to play. That's the most important thing. He might not be scoring the goals that you want him to. Like 11 games. I don't know. Has he got 5 goals or something?
6 goals in 11.
Yeah, so it's not a bad record.
It's not bad, is it?
I mean, like, what is going on?
It's crazy.
Like you want him to score like 12 goals in 11 games, or what?
Yeah,
not everybody like Ronaldo and Messi, mate. Like that doesn't happen.
This is it, man. I think because people see Haaland, it's just gave everyone a warped sense of what a normal kind of ratio of a striker. That's a good striker. Normally gets even like I said, Thierry Henry and Aguero, Rooney. These guys used to get like 1 and 2, and that's fantastic. That's a very good rate to get score 1 out of 2 games is very, very good for a striker. But obviously, with these kind of stats with Haaland and maybe Lewandowski back in the past, maybe Messi as well, I think people are just expecting these guys to get more goals than games. Like you've seen it with Harry Kane as well in the Bundesliga. But yeah, I think he's had a good ratio, man. You look at some of the other strikers that have struggled, or some of the other strikers that have come in for bigger money that have not got as many goals as him. You look at someone like Sesko, for example, who like Cosmore's got 2 goals. So like, do you know what I mean? It's not just obviously him in particular. All these kind of new strikers needs time to acclimatize and get used to the league. And it's not just a 2 months thing, and then that's going to be it. It's going to take him a few months, man, and maybe he'll just get better throughout the season. So yeah, man, I think for me, I'm not worried about him, man. I think he'll
imagine like you're top now, and he will improve to get you more goals when he goes on. That's a frightening sight. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Rohan has asked a question, and he said that this is a question for, of course, Tops. Given that Arsenal have come up short a few times, what is it that Arteta needs to do after Boxing Day to maintain or keep a lead to win the title?
I think for me, bro, he needs to make sure that there's not an element of bravery when it comes to his tactics and how he goes forward. I think, again, we've seen a snippet of it a few times this season. You're looking at Liverpool, you're looking at Manchester City, that kind of thought process of being afraid to lose. I think that has to go for sure. I think in those kind of key moments, you've seen it in every kind of top level sport or every kind of top level game. You got teams that eventually they have to be able and be brave enough to try and win the game, even if they think they're going to lose it. But it's that moment of time where it's a coming of age moment where we're confident in our ability that we can go here and win this game. I think sometimes his approach it can come across as quite negative. It can come across as quite cautious, too cautious for the quality of attacking players that we've got, because we've got a load of good attacking players. You're looking at, bro, and that's the thing. And you kind of, it's funny like you said that as well, Fuzi. It's like we're top of the league, and none of our attacking players have really got going. Like you look at the likes of Eze, Saka, obviously Gyökeres. They've been okay, but you wouldn't say they're at their best, they're at their peak. Martinelli, Havertz not even played. Madueke's been injured for ages. So like, if we get those guys firing as well, like that's where you think we can go up another level. Because again, you want to see Saka scoring more goals. You want to see Madueke contributing, and Martinelli and Havertz as well chipping in with some goals too. So, but yeah, for me, bro, I just think when it comes to these kind of pressure situations, these semi-finals, finals, these kind of, like you said, main games in March, April time, I just think he just needs to be a bit more braver, because I think we've got a Man City at the Etihad in like I think it's like the 18th of April. So that's going to be a crucial, for me, that has to be a game we go there and win, just before the mentality wise of, bro, this is going to be our title now. Because we don't know if Liverpool will still be up there. We don't know if Man City will be up there, or if Arsenal will still be up there. But I'm looking at that game thinking, if we're still in and around it, we need to go there and beat them at the Etihad, because it just sends a message that we're here. We're finally here. We've done something that Arteta's not managed to do in his career so far, and win at the Etihad. But we've gone there and beat them at their own patch, because we're confident, we've been brave. And yeah, we might lose the game, but we're confident in our own ability that we got good enough players to go there and score more goals than you will. So yeah, I think I'm looking at that game thinking that'll kind of show me if we're in and around here, if we've kind of improved our mentality and been able to handle more pressure than we have done in previous seasons, bro.
Big up, Tops, man. How long do you think Arteta stays for he wins before he wins the league this season? Does he stay for 20 years?
Oh, so if he wins the league, how long would he stay afterwards? I mean, if he wins the league, he'll definitely get obviously a new contract. I think he's got 18 months left of his current deal. So yeah, he'll definitely get a new contract. I mean, listen, if he's winning titles and win trophies, then bro, he can stay. Like that's always been my thing, bro. Like for me, I just want you to start winning trophies. That's it. Like. Again, we've got a good enough squad. I like the team that we've got. I like the players that we've got. I like the defenders, midfielders, and the attackers. So it's like it's down to you now. Like the team is good enough to do it. You need to play your part and get us over the line as well. And then, bro, you can stay, man. We've been challenging, but we need to turn the challenges into kind of victories and wins and trophies, man. So yeah, for me, he needs to do that. And if he does, he can stay, man.
As a United fan, Sesko is probably our top 3 most important players because of his hold up and link up play. He's all right, you know what I mean. It's a bit like Gyökeres, isn't it? It will take him time, like to get to the player that I think Man United wants him to be. But I think so far he's all right. I don't think he's that bad as people say he is. He's slowly coming into the team United and having his own influences. You know what I mean, Tops. I don't think obviously he's setting the world alight straight away, just like Gyökeres, but they're doing pretty much something. A new player, has come to do, when he's there for the first time, just to get used to the players around him, the surroundings, of course. And, eventually, like once he settles in properly, I think, he could get a lot of goals. I honestly think that, because the thing with Man United, the issue that they had the last few seasons is I don't think they connected enough with the strikers. The guy, Højlund, the one who went to, where did he go? He went to Napoli.
Napoli.
Yeah, so but now from what I can see of Man United, they are connecting with the strikers, and his big presence is is some of the reasons why you're actually playing well now. So give him time, be patient. I think he will be the players that you want him to be. But don't listen to this guy; he's laughing about it. Don't listen to this guy. Yeah, but I think he'll be fine. I think Tesco will be fine. Let me just go down to the questions. Would you take Southgate?
Nah, I'm good, bro. I'll leave that for Man United or whoever who gets their manager sat after mine. Because Southgate's crazy, man. But listen, he did his best for the Euro team. But again, he's another one where I feel like he was a bit braver. He probably could have won the final. Like he just. Especially the first one as well, that Italy final, they definitely should have won that, man, especially being 1-0 up at Wembley. But he just was too cautious, tried to defend for the majority of the game, man. So, I think certain managers, man, if they're so cautious all the time, it does cost you in the end, because in finals, you have to be brave. It comes to a point where there's a chance for you to win the game and really win it. And it's whether you're going to be cautious and just defend it, or whether you're going to just go for it, take it by the scruff of the neck. And then you can defend if you've got a 2-goal lead, because then you're in control. So, man, I think them managers kind of missed that kind of that bravery that's needed, in my opinion, to win the majors.
Yeah, Szoboszlai free kick. Sick.
Yeah, it was a sick free
but where are we in the league now, man? We're no point that free kick. Arteta has to win, or he has to go. Does our resident Arsenal fan agree?
I agree. I agree. He's got to win, bro. He's been 6 years. He spent nearly £1 billion. Bro, he's got the squad to do it, man. There's no excuses, bro. He's got to win it. He's got to win it, man.
This is come on, man.
Come on, bro. You know what I'm gonna say, man. Come on, he's right there. He's right there, brother. He's my guy. Well, big up Salah anyway, though. He's doing this thing.
I can't say nothing, because Henry, as a player, he was amazing. I watched him the first time he was at Arsenal. You know what I mean? Don't forget, he was playing like a wing back for Juventus before he came to Arsenal. You know what I mean? So
correct,
I watched most of his career compared to other people, if you know what I mean. Henry is a better player, but Salah at Port. What is it, at Port when you got the records?
Maybe. Yeah.
So that's the difference. Both of them are legends. I think it's 1 and 2 in my opinion in the Premier League ever, because I've never seen a consistent winger like Salah scored that many goals like a striker's rate season in and season out. It's not like just once it happens. This is every season. So I think Henry then Salah. I think from what I've seen of both of them, player wise, there's nothing better than Henry. Like records of goals and assists and all that stuff. Salah obviously is there, and what he does is extraordinary, because it's from the right wing. He's not playing as a striker. He's not playing as all going around the pitch, all around the pitch. Imagine he could play all around the pitch. How many goals and assists he will get? You know what I mean? If he could play like that. But it is what it is. But two great players. I've got no issues with that. 100%. Tops, where can people find you, bro? Great stream, by the way. Great stream, great.
Oh, chat. Fantastic. I've enjoyed it, bro.
We don't even stay this long at Judge Mo's channel, you know what I mean? That's it, man. That's it. 1 hour. That's a panel show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true, It's just been us two chatting, man. But I've really enjoyed it, man. Big up again for having me on. But then you can find me at T Chanzo Sports, man. Obviously, I do watch-alongs for the Arsenal games and other games as well, man. Obviously, where it's Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, etc., man. Obviously, previews, reviews, all of that good stuff, man. So, if you want some, and I do some shorts as well. So, if you want your daily dose of shorts as well as, obviously, long-form content, come over and support your boy, man. But, big up Bozy again for having me on the channel, man. Definitely have to get you on mine. ASAP as well, my bro. But yeah, big up
You
yourself.
know I'll be there, bro. You don't need to ask me twice. Just send the link. I am there. Same as Al, same as everybody else. And I mean, I've got no issues, man. If I'm free, I told you guys I'm going around everywhere now. So listen, this guy's channel is top stuff, man. I always see him in the reactions. They put you in the reactions.
Yeah.
I was one of the first ones, bro, when I used to do it before. Yeah, but now they took me off, man. But they brought me back. They brought me back on, and then all of a sudden I took a break, and they don't put me back on it again.
Oh, bro. Let's get you back on, man. Definitely.
But guys, I hope you like the show. There's going to be more of it coming. Hopefully, I'll get another guest tomorrow. It could be Chelsea fan. It could be, I don't know, guys. I'm going to try everybody, you know what I mean? And see if they could come on the shows and we could just discuss their teams and, you know, other stuff in the Premier League as well. Before we go, who's going to win the Premier League tops? And how's the top three going to be?
Sorry. Oh, you put me on the spot here, man. You put me on the spot. Who's going to win the Premier League? You know what? I'll go. I'll do it. Arsenal.
God.
Arsenal. Man U, Liverpool. I say.
Man U, not Man City.
Oh, sorry, Man City. Sorry, Man City. Man U? Nah, Man City.
Hell no.
Yeah, hell no, man.
All right, people. Like, share, and subscribe. Tops' link is in the description. Please go and subscribe to him. He's gonna be here a lot of time, many times. We're gonna do panel shows. Probably if he wants to do something like that. I'm gonna do a lot of panel shows over here as well. Yeah, please, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and we see you soon. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Tops, again. Honestly, bro.